Hi there, welcome to another edition of Bass in Your Face. And today, I just want to talk a little bit about right hand technique, because for you guys who are just starting out, it's important to think about this and pay some attention to it. As you know, there are standard ways of picking. We have a few different methods for the right hand. One is the standard scissor style, like this, fingerstyle. Some people play very straight with their thumb behind their fingers, like this. And then they pick the strings using alternate strokes. And sometimes some people rest their thumb on the pickup. And they pick through all the strings like that, which is, you know, that's fine. But there are other ways of doing it too with the two-finger technique. The way I do it, for example, is I use more like Stanley Clark's way. Now the reason, what we're doing here is we're taking the hand position and we rest. If we're playing, for example, the E string, we rest the thumb on the B string, the low B string, and then we pluck the strings. We twist our hand a little bit facing toward the headstock of the bass. So whereas if you do this, if you want to play with straight fingers, it doesn't feel so relaxed. If you do this, your elbow, your forearm can rest on the body of the bass. And you can have a relaxed feel to your wrist. Your wrist doesn't have to be tense. Your elbow is not carrying any of your arm's weight. So, for me, personally, it's more relaxed. And the other advantage of this method is that when you move across strings, you are also muting the strings behind using your palm and thumb. What's the advantage of this? Well, the advantage of this is that in the recording studio, your sound engineer will appreciate that there is no low rumble. For example, if you play this method, just resting your hand on the pickup, listen to me play some notes, okay? Can you hear the low rumble of the B there? It's rumbling out loud, right? That's going to pick up on a recording. If I play the same thing, but I use my method, no rumble, right? Nothing. So check that again. You hear that? Low rumble of the B. Okay, so what it does is it stops the strings from ringing out behind. So this is perhaps a cleaner technique. You can get a cleaner sound. So let's go through that. If you're going to play a scale, I would suggest, if you're at beginning phases, start up on, maybe it's good to do a C major scale from the 8th fret, just to give your hands a little bit of time to develop strength, because the frets are a comfortable position apart here. As you get further down the neck towards the headstock, to the lower notes, the spacing between the frets is much wider. So for all intents and purposes, here's a picking exercise. Actually, no, forget doing a major scale. Let's just do one note per finger, one fret per finger. Let's do it from the 7th fret B on the E string. So we're going to start our picking with the first finger on the right hand, and in your left hand, the first finger on your left hand is playing the 7th fret on the E string. and then you're going to move up and play the 8th fret on the E string for a C, and then you're going to pluck that with your 2nd finger. Then you're going to move up and play the 9th fret on the E string for a C sharp with your 3rd finger. Okay, and you're going to pluck that with your 1st finger. Then you're going to play the 10th fret on the E string with your 4th finger, your pinky, and you're going to pluck that with your 2nd finger on the right hand. Right? So far. Right? Okay, great stuff. Right. And we're going to repeat this for every string. Now, when you move across to the A string, you're going to be moving your thumb onto the E string. And you're not only going to be moving your thumb onto the E string, you're going to be, your knuckle of your right hand thumb will be muting the B string. Right? Got it? And so the same thing for the D string. Move across to the D string and play the same thing. Okay, and then same thing on the G string, and you're going to move your thumb onto the D string, and you're going to be muting, check this out, I'm muting all the adjacent strings with my thumb on my right hand. It might look a little bit weird, but once you get used to this technique, it has a lot of benefits. Let's just go through that again. I'll play it through slowly for you. There you go. Alright. Of course you can build up speed with this, you know. You can get faster and faster. It's a good exercise to get your fingers moving, and also underneath that pattern you have all the notes for the C major scale as well, but don't worry about that yet. We'll go on to that another time. So there you go, that's the exercise. Let me show you the right hand up close, okay, so you can see what's happening there. Here we go. Just observe what happens with the thumb. And back down again. Right, you got that? Okay. So, another advantage of this technique, if you notice, I'm sure you can see that on our hands, our middle finger is about a centimeter longer than our first finger, our index finger. So if we play straight, which I can't do anymore from force of habit, well, if we play straight, what normally happens is that the middle finger will give a stronger accent because it's longer. It may be a subtle difference, but maybe if you record digitally, you might notice that, and it might bug you. If you do this, though, if you use this position, notice how the fingers now operate at almost the same length, right? Because you're tilting your hand. So this is another reason why this technique, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, that this technique is better, right? So 2 reasons why I think this technique is better. 1, you get more even tones because your fingers are at the same length. 2, you mute the adjacent strings using your thumb. which is much better on recordings. That's all from me for today. I hope that's very useful to you, and I'll see you for another Bass in Your Face class